Women have the power to transform this world. We can end crime and violence if we all agree to do one thing: share. Let's share our wisdom, share our time, share our talents, share our finances, but most of all, let's share our love. This is the Female Solution.
And welcome to Global Talks with Zanna for our September edition. And today we will be learning much more about the challenges and responsibilities of crypto taxation. Quite a subject, is it not? I am actually hugely fortunate to have a very special guest on our show today, who is an author, a broadcaster, and a global voice on blockchain, crypto, and emerging technologies. So today I would like to welcome Kate Baucherel.
Hello, hello. Lovely to see you, Zanna.
Hello. So it's a massive thank you for coming on the show, because I actually feel truly blessed. This is quite some subject, isn't it? Crypto.
Oh, crikey, yes.
And we're actually going to be getting into that subject. But first of all, let's hear all about yourself, because, oh gosh, you do so much, don't you? Unbelievable. You're on the international scale. You speaker internationally as well as online. You guest on the BBC. You talk a lot on BBC Radio. So yeah, and you're English lady living in England, and you live in France.
Yes, also French lady. Also French lady. No, I'm a dual national because I married a Frenchman, but I was already fluent in French. I'd spent a lot of my childhood traveling there, so best of both worlds.
Fantastic. So can you give the audience a bit of a brief about yourself and where you are today? Because all those things that I've just said wraps up only a little bit about you.
Yes, there's quite a long history. I'm older than I look, so I go back to I graduated nearly 40 years ago, and went off and trained as an accountant. But before I did that, I started working with technology. So I ended up in America working for an IBM business partner, and working on the mighty AS400, the what was it? The mainframe for the 21st century, because it was actually attached to the internet before we had the World Wide Web. I mean, this is 7 years before the World Wide Web. And so when I came back to the UK, I was ahead of the game with tech. So I ended up being the person who did the payroll and also ran the small business server, or who started off looking after all of the report writing and everything that was coming out of those things. So I always had that dual finance and tech thing going on. And I worked in a lot of different industries. I built up my understanding of business, of strategy, and so on. And when blockchain came along, I looked at it and went, oh yeah, this is a ledger. And oh yeah, it's held online, and it's completely no disintermediated. Oh, that's easy. Everyone else gets this, don't they? And there was this tumbleweed, and nobody got it because I was just in the right place at the right time with the right skills to look at it and understand what it was. And so I've literally spent the last 10 years explaining it to people in many, many different ways. And that has become a large part of what I do. So I teach at university at master's level, and I will teach fintech. So looking at wider emerging technologies as well. I will specifically teach blockchain and cryptocurrency, and I do that for quite a few different things. Including CPD for professional bodies. So I do a bunch of stuff, but I still keep my hand in with accounts and with some fairly exciting small businesses as well. And obviously I write books, I go on the BBC, I stand up on stages. So much stuff.
Gosh. But it's a rapidly changing world, isn't it?
Yes,
massively
very much.
Changing. massively changing. So as fast as, and here you are, as fast as we're learning something new, that's evolving, and we're having to relearn it because more new has built around it.
Yeah. I mean, the principles are always the principles underneath are always the same. So we're with blockchain, the technology at the base is the thing that is evolving, and is the platform upon which everything is growing. So if you go back to basics, you can understand where it's coming from. And with all other technologies that are starting to arise, we're always looking for what new opportunities does that allow us to grasp. Because I mean, if we go back 200 years almost to the day, I actually live at the end of the Stockton and Darlington Railway, and we celebrated the 200th anniversary of the first passenger train last week. And so if you think that was a coal train, it was an engine that was better than a horse, and it pulled wagons of coal, and then they put a passenger carriage on the end and went, it's all right, you're not going to die at 8 miles an hour. And that became a springboard for a complete change in the way that society works. And we're watching for that with new innovations, new technologies. So it's a fascinating time.
Isn't it just, what do they call it? The fourth industrial revolution.
We're in the fourth at the moment, and I think we're staring down the barrel of the fifth. So the fifth is going to be, the fifth we're looking at what's going to happen with AI. The bubble is bursting, but the good stuff will start to come out. And what's happening with quantum computing. So that's going to be fascinating.
Quantum computing, yeah. You see, I start to feel my age because there's an awful lot that I don't know. And I really think that anybody of any age can actually get stuck into. We've got an incredible opportunity to actually be able to learn.
Yes,
we can do that, can't we?
We can, with one caveat: it's not moving quite as slowly as it used to. So we grew up with quite a steady growth of technology, and now it's going so fast that it's shows like this, it's discussions between people who know stuff. You've got to use the community knowledge to actually advance your own, because there is so much to learn. It's crazy,
huge. But you're somebody who's massively advantageous and important because you're able to teach people. That's a big part of what you do.
Yes. And I think that's part of my own way of understanding things, because I think if I can explain it to somebody and they then understand it, I've got it.
Yeah. Who do you teach?
I teach master's students face to face, and so they are most often international students. I think I must have taught 400 or 500 individual students over the last few years. And they come from Nigeria, from Ghana, from Kenya, from Zimbabwe, from Pakistan, from India, from Philippines, from Hong Kong, from China, and just the appetite to learn and to absorb what's going on is amazing.
Absolutely fantastic, brilliant. We in this talk today, we are actually going to be covering these topics. We're going to be learning about how long crypto's been taxable, why it matters, and that level of payment. We're also going to be talking about the examples of what is taxable under different laws. And of course, as we've already spoken previously, different laws for different geographic areas, different countries. We're going to talk about the OECD information exchange. There's a lot of things that most of us don't really understand, which will cover crypto from January 2026. Yeah, so there are changes coming up, aren't there?
Yes.
And how that asset reporting framework will impact individuals. because I think a lot of people don't understand that there's something that's going to impact them. You need to know.
Oh,
And where one country may be ahead of the game on that table currently, other countries are going to be moving rapidly, aren't they? So it's not something that, oh, well, it doesn't apply to us.
yeah, it applies to everybody. It applies to everybody.
From every country, absolutely. We are also going to be talking about, and this is fascinating, tools to help and calls to action. Because then you'll be thinking, what tools? Aggregator dashboards.
When you've tried to do your crypto tax manually, you will love the tools.
So this is just brilliant. People can actually, they're not going to be able to learn everything on today's call, but they're going to get a very strong impression of what they need to do, and how they can become better educated. And then, of course, we're going to be talking about your books. We won't talk about that yet. I have bought the book that I wanted to. Yes, I'm really excited. We'll talk about that one later. So, I think this is going to be wonderful. Let me have a quick look here. So what we're going to do is have a very short commercial break in a moment. And then when we come back, we're going to get stuck straight into that, your knowledge of crypto taxation. I think that's what we really need to do. So we're just having a quick look here at images of yourself at various events. Oh, there are also, you have sent to me, so I know this is in the UK, but people are flying in and out anyway. There are various events that you have coming up. So we'll talk about those at the end so people will know where they can go and meet you even. Okay. Actually, we've got a couple of minutes. So should we just tap into what we're going to be talking about shortly? It's how long it's been taxable, because I think that if you ask me that question, I'd go, I don't know.
Well, it's been taxable since basically day one. Because as soon as you have income or you have a gain, there's tax. And that relates to everything. It relates to stocks and shares and houses and salaries and everything. So why would it not actually relate to crypto? Fair enough. I guess we could really count it from Pizza Day, Bitcoin Pizza Day, when somebody bought 2 pizzas for 40,000 Bitcoin. And that was the first proper exchange that was in real world. But it's worth knowing that last year in the US, one of the early Bitcoin adopters was actually jailed for not declaring their tax from the early days. So yes, it has applied forever. And in the UK, there was published guidance as far back as 2014.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I think probably in the early days there was probably confusion, or what is it real and is it
no one really some people took it very seriously, and because it was a great concept. I looked at it and went, that's really interesting, and then ran off to sort out my 2 toddlers and my aging family that subsequently passed away. So I was a little busy from 2009 through to when I actually woke up and went, okay, this is interesting, and started to understand it in 2015. But yes, I think because it was a digital innovation, people are not thinking of it in the context of actually one day this might be worth something. Although I do believe that's one of the early statements from the Satoshi emails, is you might as well get something because one day it could be worth something. So there's a bit of an indicator.
Exactly. Fascinating, absolutely fascinating. You talk about level of payment.
Oh, in terms of how many people are paying tax, well, not that many people.
What about accountants? Are they, generally speaking, aware of what to do? Because didn't seem that long ago that you had perhaps people saying, well, my accountant doesn't really know quite how to handle this.
Yeah, now that's a really interesting one that actually deserves quite a long answer. So let me know if this is a good time to say that.
I think so.
Okay, so we have an estimate that in the UK between, and this is a really broad estimate, between 55% and 95% of taxes aren't paid. So there could be around 2 billion of tax that isn't around. We do know in Norway, which is a small sample because there's only 4 or 5 million Norwegians, that 88% of taxes aren't paid. Because they have transparent taxes and they can match them up to the exchanges and go, that's odd. Lots of Norwegians are using crypto. We've only got this much tax, but they don't have any names, so no one's been shopped on that. But in terms of accountants, that's a really interesting one, because when an accountant asks the question, is there anything else you need to tell me to do your taxes? It's actually puts the onus on the holder of the crypto to say, oh yeah, I've got all this crypto, and they don't, because the accountant didn't ask them about crypto, so that's all fine. And there's a lot of education going on within the accounting profession now to make sure that people are aware. And I've sat there in front of a room full of accountants and shown them a video of me playing a game. So my little axes are killing the other axes, and I've won a very, very small amount of crypto, and I'm like, right, that's my acquisition. That's my acquisition for capital gains tax, or is it income for something that I've done? And they go, oh, because it's so alien. It's so alien.
Because that's the thing, isn't it? For people to understand exactly what is a capital gain and what is something that you've earned.
That's it's not in that particular case. That probably would be construed as earning on the day, and therefore would be subject to income tax. But then if I held on to the assets that I'd won and subsequently disposed of them, the difference goes under capital gains tax. So it is actually quite straightforward. Okay. So you just look at, right, the tax point is when you acquire it, but the point is I acquired it just by playing a game.
Yeah. Yeah. Fascinating, isn't it? The same, I think that, like we were saying at the beginning, our world is changing at such a rapid rate.
Yeah.
Quite easy for many of us to sort of fall back and lose confidence.
Yeah. I think there is also a bit of a gosh, it's free money thing going on here as well. And I have heard informally that when discussions of implementing the crypto asset reporting framework, there's been a bit of resistance in terms of, that people are going to have high tax bills as a result of the greater transparency with exchanges. But it's been coming for so long, and the guidance has been there for more than a decade. So I've done my taxes. Oh yeah.
Brilliant. So we did talk a little bit when we were discussing what we would talk about the different laws.
Yeah. So the things are starting to kind of align around different jurisdictions, and there's a few slightly different approaches to taxation, and it depends very much on where you're living. So in the UK, and in the US as well, actually, every single piece of income that you get, so you might be staking a cryptocurrency, so you might say, oh, you can earn a return on this currency, that's staking, so you're going to earn interest, that's income. You might be mining, very, very few people do that now because it's really only Bitcoin that is mined, that's income. So if you earn any income, you have to pay income tax, and you pay it on the rate at the point at which you receive the crypto. So if you receive £1,000 worth of crypto in a particular coin, and you go, oh, I'm going to hang on to that because it might go up, and then it goes down, you still pay the tax on the £1,000. You don't pay it on the £200
on the down.
Earned. No, you have a capital loss if you realise it for your capital gains tax returns, but no, you pay the tax at the exact time the transaction happens. Same in the US. That's the general rule. You get slightly different treatments, I think.
That's the general rule.
Yeah.
The moment that you've
the moment the transaction happens,
pay your tax then, or declare.
No, you don't pay it. That's what's called the tax point. So every single thing that happens has a tax point. So if you get an invoice, if you're in business and you get an invoice and it's got a VAT amount on it, that's the tax point for the VAT returns. If when you receive salary, that's the tax point for your PAYE. Most people don't see this because they don't do a return. But if you do that, so the tax point is the jargon. So that's the date, the time that something happened, and it's really important with crypto because the values go up and down. So the tax point could be to the second, and it will change. But you're always going to pay tax on that second. So anyone that thinks, well, crypto's going up and I'm going to spend, I might move to another country so I don't have to pay tax in the same way. No. The tax point is when it happened. You're stuck.
Yeah, got you. Yeah, that does make sense though, doesn't it?
Yeah.
It does make sense.
Because it could be manipulated so much if you didn't do that.
Exactly. Completely, I'd imagine. So we're just having a quick look at this book, Getting Started
book
with Cryptocurrency, which is one of the books that you've written. Brilliant.
There we go.
So I think this book's really important. Talk about it, because I think this can help a lot of people.
I'm very, very proud of this book. It's published by BCS, the Chartered Institute for IT, as part of their Getting Started With series. So I think the first one was AI. We've got one around ethics that's just come out. There was another one on the crypto side that went deeper into NFTs, and this is the second one that was published. It came out last year, and it's aimed at non-technical people. So it's not aimed at computer people. It's for the decision makers. It's for the people who need to understand. So somebody who's in a business that's thinking about, that maybe wants to use cryptocurrency, someone who's an individual who wants to understand what it is. It is not a trading manual. I do not give investment advice, but it tells you what it is, where it came from, what you can do with it and what the risks are. And it tells you about the taxation. It tells you about the regulations in there as well. And it's ever so short. It's a very, very short read. And yes. It's a very tiny book. See?
That's good though.
There we go. They all are. And they're brilliant.
It's not one to be afraid of, is it?
Yeah. And it has lots of lovely little diagrams in it. There we go. What's
fantastic.
That? Yes. So I've got lots of little bits of artwork and easy things to understand exactly what it is and how you look after it, what an exchange is, what a wallet is, all of this kind of stuff.
That is a fantastic book. Everyone needs to have that.
Yes,
so
yes, you do.
We can buy it on Amazon, can't we?
You absolutely can. You can buy it direct from BCS. You can buy it from Amazon. I've got a few copies that I sell off my website as well.
Fantastic. So, we need to get our hands on this little beauty too, I think. Yes. I do want you to go through the OECD that we talked about.
Oh, yes. Okay. So there's actually, I'm going to go a little bit wider than OECD, just because when I said everything is coming together, all the different jurisdictions have similar responsibilities. There's several different organizations. So we have things like the Financial Action Task Force. So if you ever hear of a company being blacklisted, for example, that's Financial Action Task Force that looks at money laundering and counterterrorism funding. So all of the regulations around, for example, if you, in the UK, very specifically, if you get a message on WhatsApp or something on social media going, come and invest in crypto, we've got this great platform, they are not registered by the FCA. Anyone who is registered to provide services, who is a crypto asset service provider, so an exchange or anything like that, has to be registered for the money laundering regulations. And they're not allowed to do adverts like that. So it's kind of to keep safe, be aware of that. So that's one thing that sits above all countries. So every country has to implement anti-money laundering and counter-terrorism funding regulations. And we see that right across. And there's some specialist regulation that's come in. The Commonwealth of Nations has issued its own model law around virtual asset service providers to keep everybody straight on money laundering within crypto. And the OECD isn't looking at the money laundering side particularly. It's looking at tax evasion, and it's looking at cross-border investment to sort of understand that pattern of money moving around. Because money moves really easily with crypto, very easily indeed. And there is already an asset reporting framework. It's been in place for years, and that allows them to at least have some control over things that are going backwards and forwards. You get things like the Panama Papers and all of the fraud around that about 10 years ago. And so crypto assets come into that reporting framework from the 1st of January, and that's global. And in the UK, it's HMRC that are enforcing that. And what it means is that any crypto asset service provider has to share the personal details of individuals and entities that are on their platforms. So if your exchange is going to start asking you for personal details, and if you don't want to play, your money has to come off the exchange. It's part of that information sharing.
Yeah, fascinating. So anybody can actually go onto a search engine and find that.
Yes.
And learn it.
Yeah.
Learn about it.
Yeah. CARF, Crypto Asset Reporting Framework, CARF.
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 Oh. Okay, cool. Brilliant. This is the thing, isn't it? There's so much to learn.
Yeah.
There's so much that's new to learn.
Yes. And there's so much
that's scary, I think.
It's counterintuitive at times as well. So it's really hard to protect people and say, look for an absence of information. Okay, how do you don't automatically look and go, I shouldn't be following up that very convincing looking advert or that message from my mate on WhatsApp because there is an absence of FCA clearance. Yeah. You're not looking for something that isn't there. So we really have to be very, very much aware of what the rules are and that they do all apply to crypto, and then be sensible and question what you're doing. So everything's regulated according to.
We talk about
and you have to pay your taxes.
Yeah, we talk about the impact on individuals, but I think maybe we've got to twist that to a positive rather than a negative. Find the positive impact, not the negative. Understand.
There are plenty of positives, but just be aware. Yes,
absolutely.
Yeah,
brilliant. So this blew me actually because I thought, what? You know what I'm going to say?
That had to be said.
Absolutely, but when we're talking about the when we're talking about the tools, we'll talk about this in a moment. I want you to explain the aggregated dashboards. When I first looked at that, I thought, what?
That's kind of my description.
We're going to go to a short commercial break now. But there is actually a little video that we're going to watch shortly. But when we come back, we'll talk about that first before we watch that nice video.
Absolutely. So
that's going to be quite interesting, actually. Aggregated dashboard. I love that. Brilliant.
Hi, I'm Naima Latif. And if you're watching this, that means you're one of the 4.6 billion people from around the world who are using an electronic device to talk to people. In these times, people are using the internet to talk to everybody. Friends, neighbors, family members, co-workers. People are on their cell phones and computers all day long. Now, if you're in business, that is great news. That means you can sell your products and services all day long and never have to leave your home. All you need is a media connection, somebody to connect you to an audience. And that's why I'm talking to you today. We produce programs, and our audience members are people who shop. They buy clothes, food, beauty supplies, cleaning supplies, home repair, transportation services, childcare services. Whatever you're selling, they need to buy it. We're your media connection. Just follow this link, and tomorrow you can sit back and relax at home while your business is making you money.
Oh, thank you. Welcome back. Welcome back. Here we go. So, aggregator dashboard.
Aggregator dashboard. So when I did my first tax return, way back, I literally had to print off every single transaction I'd ever done. Fortunately, there weren't a huge amount, but it was a big spreadsheet. And because of the nature of crypto, every single blockchain has its own wallet. So if you're not keeping all of your funds on an exchange, which actually a lot of people do, if you're self-custody, which I am across different chains, you need to have every single one in there. And it's an absolute nightmare to get all of the values and the dates and the so on. And it's crazy. Once you've gone beyond about 10 transactions, it's incredibly onerous, even though at the end there may be, a very, very small tax burden. And so there are some wonderful tools out there. There are several of these. I use one called Coinly with a K. And what this does is, I love it because as an accountant, I flipping love this. It's read only, so it's not going into your wallets or anything. And you simply add in your Coinbase, your MetaMask, your Soulflower wallet with this, that, and the next thing. And it allows you, it will do all the double entry and say, so this was bought at this price on this day, and then it was sold at that price on that day, and then this was income, and it does all the double entries and checks that it's got the right details so you don't miss anything. And for a fee, you get your tax reports, a small fee as well, a civilized fee. And those can go straight to HMRC in the UK, but you can simply state what your jurisdiction is, and it will churn out the correct reports for your tax return, regardless of where you are. But what it also does, which is really, really useful, is it acts as a dashboard. So I can go onto Coinly and I can look and I go, how much crypto have I got across everything right now? And it will say, you've got this much ETH, and it's actually split between 4 different places. And here's where it is. It's wonderful. It's absolutely fabulous.
With a K link.
Coinly with a K is the one that I use, but there are others on the market that are available. But so look for something like that, because A, it will help your tax, but B, it's so cool to be able to just see everything, because sometimes you forget.
Yeah. So these are the aggregated dashboard.
That's what I call them. Tax platforms. You'll hear them called tax platforms as well. But it is a dashboard, and it's aggregating all of your crypto activity. So Brilliant. That's what I call it.
That's something very useful for a lot of people. I'm sure there are lots of people that already use them successfully and know about them. But I also think there are people that don't. So something that would be new, or something that people think, oh, I can't do that. But it's easy. Simple.
It's incredibly easy, yes. And it gives you such great visibility over everything. Because, of course, every single token on blockchain is discoverable. So it's actually quite easy to pull that API in and go, all right, these are attached to your wallet, and it's wonderful.
I think that's genius. That's fantastic, and very, 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 very helpful information. Let's take a look at this video, which is yours. And I just love this video because it just shows how broadened everything that you do is, all that you do. So that is coming up, and then we're going to talk about blockchain hurricane.
It's a completely bonkers place. And I'm very aware of the irony of standing here telling you that you need to know about this stuff, and for you and for your businesses, right in the middle of the biggest crypto crash since probably, well, the last one, I guess. So, I mean, I do hold cryptocurrency, I do hold NFTs. I mean, if I wouldn't be standing here knowing about it if I didn't, but I'm far more interested in the innovation itself and the technology that it's spawning and the things that we're able to do.
So what actually merged with the Ethereum merge, and what exactly was it? The Ethereum merge is actually a very big deal for crypto, and for the sustainability, the scalability and the security of crypto going forward. And what the Ethereum team needed to do was to find a more sustainable way of securing their chain. So over the past 4 years, there's been an incredible development effort to transfer this huge skyscraper to a new foundation. And this is what the Ethereum merge achieved.
What damage or what impact do you think all this will have on the cryptocurrency world?
I think that the verdict today is actually very positive because it shows very clearly that this was a case of fraud and money laundering. The fact that they were tempting people to invest their crypto assets, their cryptocurrencies, for returns that were too good to be true in a business that the FCA, the Financial Conduct Authority, had already warned against. It's been a stain for the last year, and we're so glad that the right decision.
So many benefits for the creators and the readers. It's just we need to communicate that.
I mean, certainly you've nailed down there some very specific ways in which the structure of blockchain, the structure of NFTs is absolutely relevant to this problem. And it's not something that can be solved. It's a very roundabout and clunky way to do it with current technology.
And it just really shows, a proportion of what you do. I think it's wonderful. You're amazing. I've been amazed by you. I think you're absolutely genius, brilliant. But we must talk about the blockchain hurricane, which is your YouTube channel.
Yes.
Because it's fabulous. So
good.
Anybody can just go there and get snippets of education with your short videos, and there's a range of them. So
I think there's 52 of them now.
Is it 52?
I think there's 52. I need to record some more. Ask me lots of questions.
Yeah, all the questions.
All the questions. I think it originally came from whenever I went to do a talk, I'd always be asked the same questions every time. So what is Bitcoin? Is it killing the planet? How do you invest? What's a wallet? What's an exchange? Does it need to be taxed? All of this sort of thing. And I thought, do you know what? I'm just going to record a video that answers all those questions. I will still get the questions, but and so that little sort of original little video started, and I called it the Blockchain Hurricane because you can't see me at the moment, but there is actually another book that I wrote in 2020 called Blockchain Hurricane, and that's it's an MBA textbook that's on the Harvard catalog, and it just seemed like a cool name. And my friend did me a little Kate CryptoPunk style picture as well, which I thought was rather good. And so when people ask me questions, I will do that, and I try to keep it under 2 minutes. It ends up often being 2:10, 2:20, but it's enough to just go, here's a snippet, here's a fact, now go and research a little bit more and see how you get on. And it was actually from that I started getting the BBC gigs, because they found the channel and realized that I could actually explain something in less than 2 minutes, which is what they like.
Yeah. Blockchain Hurricane is brilliant, and I must say, I think it's something that any of our audience watching, go to YouTube, search up the Blockchain Hurricane, and explore, because there are so many fantastic short videos that just explain in brief, and then you can kind of dive in deeper thereafter. So let's just talk about your books, because you have written so many brilliant books. I bought one already. We'll talk about that one in a moment. Well, I'll tell you now, I actually bought The Travels of Finch, because I'm so fascinated. Look, I love it so much.
Finch is so cute.
Gorgeous. But the thing about your books, and I'm going to ask you to explain this, because at first I thought that they were just sort of like educational read, and then I realised, they're fiction.
It's amazing how many people bought the first one thinking that it was actually a textbook, because when I wrote the Harvard book, Blockchain Hurricane, I suggested the title as a joke, and the publishers ran with it, because I'd already published a thriller called Bitcoin Hurricane. So everyone bought the thriller thinking it was the new book. But there you go. So oddly, they did start out as educational, because I was asked to write a cybersecurity book, a serious one, and I was about halfway through doing the proposal and everything with my colleague, and saying, so tell me a bit more. I need to know about the audience. We need to know about marketing. I need to put together the structure of the book for the publisher. And he said, do it as fiction. And I went, no, don't be silly. I can't write fiction. And he nagged me until I did. And he had a point, because it's all very well doing a dry sort of tech book, cybersecurity for dummies level sort of stuff. Yeah. But people learn and change their habits because of things they read and because of stories. And it's that storytelling that's really, really important in changing habits. And there's some research, it goes back to about 2004, where they looked at how people absorb knowledge from stories. And it actually goes into not just something that you learn like you've learned in college, but that you have to then recall. It goes into your background general knowledge. So they did a test with this research group where they gave them a fake fact as part of this storytelling aspect, and then a few weeks later did a pub quiz with them all, and they all regurgitated the fake fact. Because it was sitting there in background general knowledge. And we see that used to disruptive effect with some of the things that go on social media. We all get different stories about people. We all get different, we're in different echo chambers. We are told the stories that we want to hear. We've used that to tell the story of, please don't use the same password everywhere. Did you know that occasionally there's a problem here? Here's how you would get out of a cybercrime problem. And it's just basic security hygiene, just tootling along underneath all of these thrillers. And they get more and more crazy as you go on, because it starts off pretty much looks like present day. I think in the second one, I actually invented a pandemic. I'm really sorry about that. It's all my fault. And then we end up with sort of evil artificial intelligences as you get further out into the 6 in the series now. So it's really very cool. And
is that the Sim Cavalier series?
This is the Sim Cavalier series. Funnily enough, Little Finch has had a starring role in this. So I wanted to demonstrate something around global currencies. So I thought, there must be an extract from a sci-fi book with someone, must be an alien landing on a planet somewhere who wants to buy a cocktail. And then I thought, Kate, you're a sci-fi writer. Write something. So I wrote a little sentence about a weary traveller who hoists their bag and they go down they come off the spaceship and they look around and it's time for a cocktail. How are they going to pay? And about a year later, I thought, how did they pay? And that was where the first Finch story came from, back in 2020. So when you get to that one, you will know it, because the link's down and they can't pay with their normal wallet. So then I wrote a whole bunch more, and then it became The Travels of Finch, and it starts with little Finch leaving home and getting into all sorts of scrapes.
So I think your book's a genius, and so you can get absorbed into the storyline, but without realizing it, you're actually learning new age tech, aren't you?
Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, I've gone all the way up to quantum computing with this last one, which was with the final Sim Cavalier thing, and because I dropped myself in it and went, right, I'm going to do something about quantum, and then had to go and learn what it was. And there's a point at which my brain explodes, and I don't have the complex maths to go into it in a lot of detail, but I can explain it to people. And that, as I said at the start, is my test for, do I actually understand it? But the quantum computing for dummies book, there are actually, at the end of each chapter, it goes, go back and read this bit again. It's very, very, very counterintuitive.
So I think it's brilliant. The Sim Cavalier series, talking about those ones, which age group from, and obviously could be any age up, but what kind of age group do you think?
Probably young adult upwards. It's because it becomes complex, and because a lot of it's not complex. It's remarkably easy read, and there are cats, and comedy and family and so on. There aren't really any young characters. There's 3 kids in the family, but everybody else is adult. But reviews suggest that young adults would enjoy it as well, and certainly I've sold it to young adults at events. So anything from sort of 13, 14 upwards, I would have thought. I mean, that's when I was reading, all the classics and the Asimovs and the John Wyndhams and all this sort of stuff. So,
and it's super modern too. Can't get any more modern, can you?
Yeah, it's really weird doing a near future prediction. So there's an author called David Brin who did a couple of very good near future predictions, and it's amazing to see what things come true. So I pushed mine out 25 years, which is quite hard to do. So the most recent one's set in 2050. It started off with, I can just have drones flying around if I push it 25 years in the future, and I can imagine what the consequences are, good and bad, of bringing in new technologies. And then it's been loads of fun.
Absolutely fantastic, and it will just carry on, won't it? Fascinating. So all of your books are available on Amazon?
Yes.
Brilliant.
Ebook, paperback. There are hardbacks of the trilogy editions and Finch, and there are also audiobooks. The audiobook of the most recent one hasn't yet gone live, but it is there and should be up within a couple of days.
Brilliant. So accessible to everyone.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fantastic. Educational, and that's what it's all about, isn't it? And I think the fact that you're educating through fiction that's actually real is genius. And there is your range of books in that image. Well, is it all of them, or is it just some of them?
So the Finch obviously is mine. Hacked is the trilogy edition of the first 3 books. Yeah. The Death Plus 70 and Rum and Rosemary that you can see at the back there, and the Folly and Madness, those are Harvey Duckman Presents anthologies, and in fact that's one of those that has a Finch story in it that also appears in Finch. That's the only crossover. And then All Tomorrow's Futures is another anthology that I was asked to contribute to, and I was asked to write a short story about digital money.
Brilliant.
And about the sort of future setting for things. So that was fun. As well, and the rest actually, the Thieves Guild books is my friend who is also my editor. So,
brilliant. So, people that are watching you talking with me today, they can communicate with you through your social media.
Absolutely, yes. You can find me on Facebook, you can find me on Blue Sky, Instagram, and all the links are on my website. So if you start at the website, you'll find me everywhere.
So the website, running along the bottom, we've got the YouTube channel, Blockchain Hurricane, but there's also your website. There's
Gallia
the YouTube.
Digital.
There's the YouTube there. And then the website. Where is that up there?
Yeah, the website's there, yeah. Gallia Digital. Or you can literally just type Kate Baucherel into Google and you just get...
You come up everywhere.
Yeah.
Gallia
if you
Digital.
type Baucherel in, you still get that because it's got a really unusual name. About three pages in, you get some of my husband's research papers in chemistry.
Oh, wow. Brilliant. But your website's fantastic because when you go in there, you literally can access all of your social media platforms. Yeah. It's all there.
And you can buy the books direct as well.
And you can buy the books direct as well. Fantastic. And of course, the YouTube channel. I think that's brilliant. So those are the two. And from those two, you can reach, or anyone can reach your social media and keep up to date with what's going on. Let's just quickly touch on what you've got up and coming, or your blockchain stuff that's up and coming in the UK. There's Sheffield, isn't there?
Yes. So I do Comic-Cons because my audience for sci-fi books goes to Comic-Cons. So I'm going to be in Sheffield tomorrow. I'm going to be in Newton Aycliffe the following week. I'm going to be in Barnsley the week after. I'm going to be in Leeds at Authors at the Armories the week after that. And then in November, I'll be at Authors at the Abbey in Selby. So a lot of stuff in the north of England. On the blockchain side, I'm speaking at a conference in London on the 15th, I believe. Yes, 15th of October.
Month?
Yes.
Okay. And so will people be able to either attend or?
Yes, there are tickets available. I believe it's at Lincoln's Inn, being run by Unblocked Events and Edwin Coe. So that's going to be fascinating.
Gosh, yes. That will be definitely fascinating. Where can people find that information?
If you go to LinkedIn, or if you search for Unblocked and Edwin Coe, you will come up with that straight away.
Brilliant. Absolutely genius. All of this. It's blown me away really, because the level of your knowledge is immense. Can I ask a question? What's the most common question that people put to you?
Oh my goodness.
That's a tricky one, isn't it?
That is a tricky one. I mean, it depends on the audience. So the one that you always get when you go onto any media platform is, could you explain to the listeners or to the viewers what Bitcoin is? Okay, sure. You get the skeptics. Oh, is it all just a Ponzi scheme? And then you get the more practical things around, exactly, how do you keep things safe and so on. The one thing I can never ever do is answer a question about investment because I'm not regulated by the FCA. So, and you wouldn't want to take trading advice from me anyway.
Bless you. That's brilliant. It's fascinating. So those three questions I could imagine, but when people ask you, wasn't that just Ponzi scheme? How do you kind of immediately address that one?
That's again, it depends who I'm talking to and what experience they've got. But actually, no, it's regulated, it is globally recognized, and it has high adoption. So actually worth knowing that with the rise of stable coins now, I think the statistic that hits everyone between the eyes is that the volume of stablecoin transactions last year, and this is a lot of global South, Africa, Asia, exceeded that of Visa and MasterCard combined. And that's from the World Economic Forum. It's not a number that anyone's just made up. There are more stablecoin transactions going on in the world now than there are Visa and MasterCard transactions. And that tells you it's here to stay.
Absolutely.
And it's legitimate.
It is here to stay. If you could give one little chunk of advice to people that haven't really become involved in this world of crypto, because it's not going away.
Yeah, it's not going away. Be wary, but be inquisitive. So there is a lot of opportunity opening up with rapid payments and all sorts of things. Where there is value, there are scammers. So keep your eyes open and understand what you are doing. So learn and pay your taxes.
Absolutely. And buy your books.
And buy my books. Buy all my books.
Buy all your books. So for somebody who's going to buy that very first book, which one are they going for?
Bitcoin Hurricane's the very first one, and that gives you you'll meet all the characters in that one.
Fantastic. And
one, obviously getting started with cryptocurrency, and for fun, buy Finch, because Finch is great.
Already did. Oh, dear. Do you know what? There we are. There are all those books. It has been an absolute 100% pleasure to speak with you for a whole hour, all about crypto. So that must be something. It's been amazing. Absolutely fantastic. Obviously, the show is recorded, so many more people will be able to watch it. And I truly hope that watch it from beginning to end and learn, because you've actually opened up a whole lot more knowledge and information for all of us, and I think it's brilliant. Absolutely fantastic.
Thank you for having me.
Just a thank you to Shelley fantastic. She fan pro, because if it wasn't for her, I would never have been introduced to you. So I am just so honoured that you actually accepted to come on to this show. It's been absolutely fantastic. We have we do have slightly differing times. So we've got 2 minutes left. Look at that. We had a slight issue in the very beginning with internet. And so we kind of literally went boom straight in it, but it's been amazing, hasn't it?
It has, yes.
It has been absolutely amazing. A huge thank you to you. And would you come on again?
It depends what questions people ask.
It does, doesn't it? That would be fascinating.
Get the questions in the comments there and see what happens.
Yeah, so I hope people keep on asking questions, and we'll see what happens. Absolutely brilliant. So a massive thank you to you. Is there anything else you want to say before we bid farewell to our audience?
Lovely to see everybody.
Definitely. Thank you so much. And good luck with your events coming up.
Thank you.
Month.
Yes.
Brilliant. Thank you. And
thanks, Zanna. Bye-bye.
We've come to the end of our show today. If you missed any broadcasts, go to our website for the audio and video archives at www.thefemalesolution.com. On behalf of our team of radio hosts, I'd like to thank all of you who participated in today's discussions. And to our global family joining us from all around the world, we say thank you. To our family in China, xie xie. India, zhanyavad. Japan, arigato. Korea, kamsamnida. Russia, spasiba. Germany, danke. Poland, dziękuję. France, merci. Spain, gracias. Italy, grazie. Egypt, shukran. Ghana, madasi. Nigeria, eshe. South Africa, ngiyabonga. Senegal, jareh. Kenya, asante. Israel, toda. Pakistan, shukriya. Afghanistan, tashakur. Saudi Arabia and Palestine, shukran. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. Thank you, and may peace be upon you and the mercy of God and God's blessings.